Hey guys, I'm going to try and keep this as quick as possible. There's an elephant in the room I need to address, which is where is part 8? Part 7 had ended on turn 146, and here we are on turn 157. Um, as you may know, I do try to record these a little bit in advance, so that way if things get a little hectic, I can still release them in a orderly fashion. It's something I like to do for you guys. And if you've ever played Civ 5 on your own computer, you know that when you go to load a save file, it's very resource intensive, even if you have a nice machine. And believe me, I do. The machine I had before, the one I'm working on now, was way nicer than what Civ 5 actually required. But the game is kind of inefficiently programmed, and as a result, that's what happens. For example, there might be times when you hear me say something about my mouse not being synced. If I should happen to Alt-Tab out of the game and Alt-Tab back in while the game is loading, my mouse software just does not recognize that Civ 5 is the software in focus, so it's using a different profile, for example. Every now and then it has come to pass that I'll tell, using a mouse shortcut, I'll tell my recording software to record the game, but for whatever reason it never gets through because the game's being real resource intensive. Now, when I first recognize this happening, what I do now is I try to keep the recording software somewhat in the foreground so that I have a visual confirmation that a recording is actually taking place and the command didn't get lost. Also, whenever I'm done recording a segment, I create a save file, I label that recording, file it away to be uploaded to YouTube later. So I have this process. I have several fail safes in Possible that are meant to prevent exactly what has happened here from happening, and yet the stars aligned this one time, and as a result, part 8 is lost in time. I must not have recognized that I was recording. I must have gotten called away right after I was done recording, so I didn't do my usual renaming of the video file, or which otherwise I would have recognized it wasn't there and that I had to replay that segment. But none of that occurred. So I only just realized that now, and I'm a little bit further ahead, so it's just not realistic to try and replay that part because it might end up with different decisions and whatnot, different city-states. And that actually matters. In fact, that's what we'll spend the rest of this time here doing, is just trying to catch you guys up on everything that has happened. There came a point where Mbanza Congo said that they wanted incense, and we had just met Egypt. Oh, I should probably start there. You can see the scouting of the other continent is pretty much done. In fact, this turn in particular, 157, was very pivotal. A few things changed, and one of those was our scouting ships kind of met each other on the far side of the continent and are now doubling back along their respective paths, and we'll grab as much visibility as we can on the way back. So, but we had met Egypt, and they had some incense available, but we were all out of whales at the time. Montezuma had taken over Askia's excess wine, so we lost that one-to-one trade, which kind of forced us to go back into a one-to-one trade with Montezuma. So by the time we had met Egypt, we did not have whales, but he did have incense, and so we got Mbanza Congo involved with that. This turn, Hong Kong had recognized our great writer, which I used to make a great work. And also this turn, Yerevan asked for jewelry, so we gave 500 gold to Hong Kong to push us into allied status, which not only gets us the jewelry, which we'll get credit for the following turn, but also they had iron, and we had just run out of iron from making all the and queuing up to make all the ships of the line our unique unit. Now, all of these cities had made one, with the exception of York, is one turn away from making its first one. London had made a second one, and as you can see, London's one turn away from finishing a privateer. All of these, the ones that came from Nottingham and Hastings, are lined up here. The ones that came from London are already over here. We basically cleared the barbarians over here, came down here. 2 turns ago, we told China stop spying on us. They were like, sure. I said stop settling cities near to us, and they were like, no way. Last turn, which was a turn after I talked down to them, we officially denounced them. You can see that here that we did denounce them. And then this turn we shopped for somebody to pay us to go to war with her, and sure enough Montezuma came up with 5 gold per turn for us to war. Now these two ship of the line, there was a trireme here, I think a trireme here, maybe it was here, I don't know, but each one was able to one-shot the Chinese trireme, and we have reinforcements in the way, so that's the plan anyways. But that's everything that's happened as far as that went. Perhaps the only other thing to report on is when we did real well with securing the happiness over here. Happiness was so great, I went ahead and sold off my gold luxury for gold per turn, and then when whales came back I also sold those off. So we'll just take a quick glance here. You can see some of the deals. Anyone that doesn't have a corresponding in the luxury and the resources imported, resources exported section means we're trading them for gold per turn for better or worse. So the main takeaway is the upside is the city-states have really been starting to fall in line fairly well for us, and as a result happiness is fairly secured. The downside is that all these two and the Yerevan, the one that's about to become allied as soon as we get credit for the jewelry, they're all dies, so they're not a cumulative bonus except for that one of these has jewelry, the other one has porcelain. And then of course the other upside is that our whales, our unique luxuries in general, are kind of all out of whack. So like we're trading Egypt marble for their incense, when we really would love for that to be whales. We have whales being sold gold per turn here, etc., etc. So, and of course at one point we had traded silk away to Portugal for their citrus. I think that's how we got Antwerp excited in the first place. So anyways, I think that has done a fair job of catching you up. Tech wise, we hit steel and upgraded our 2 swordsmen. In fact, anyways, and we are heading towards machinery to be able to upgrade to longbowmen. We'll give a quick glance at the charts here so you can see what more or less took place. We'll highlight England and Aztecs. That's probably the highlight of what you can find here, and there's science. So he continues to be a real threat, a real contender, but not acting upon it. I do hope that is a succinct enough summary for you guys, so I will just let you get to the part 9 as I recorded it. Thank you for your time and understanding. Hello everybody, and welcome to part 9 of my Islandception series. In the last part we had a really good string of luck with city-states. We declared war on China, and I've come to a resolution with regards to the iron conundrum. Just a refresher, when we declared war on China, a natural iron came back, and that's after we just got 6 borrowed ones from Hong Kong, and the question was, do we sell it? Because if we do and then we queue up, like, we'll be chewing into borrowed iron. And I've decided I think I'd rather not sell it, mostly because we are going to have a very iron dependent military, and I don't want to be stuck holding the ball where our iron runs out for whatever reason. When we come time to conquering China and we get 6 more iron, maybe we can revisit that then. But for now, I think let's just hold on to it. Better safe than sorry. Okay, so we've been having a real problem with keeping our whales going to useful things. He had cotton available, but has since lost it. He has cotton, but I think we're already trading him whales for his sugar. So it doesn't look as if bringing the whales back to us would have any benefits. So let's go ahead and tie up her gold now while she'll give us full value. I don't know how she'll feel about us attacking China. Probably not too bad. Okay, so now we get credit. Right, losing grasp on Banza Congo. That means they're hostile, I would guess. And jewelry connected for Yerevan. So even more culture. Lots more. Nice. Very nice. That's very helpful right now that we have the rationalism opener. And sure enough, they are hostile, so that's why they're already reporting that they're sick of us. Okay, so that is York's offensive ship of the line. Let's build their defensive one. And same with London. They're finished building the offensive navy. We'll chip in 1, 2 defensive and go from there. So let's see, we got privateer. Okay. Alright, so these two that are over here, this is the thing we were worrying about last turn, if you recall, is that these two ships can't get over here in time. So we really can't just go ahead and go all in on this city. And it looks like that's just as well because the privateer would not be able to capture next turn anyway. So we have this 1 turn available, and unfortunately between these two cities, they have an overlapping bombard radius here, which is why I'm really pleased to see this Chukanu up on the hill here. We can bring these 2 active ones over and shoot on that from a distance where the city and this trebuchet cannot fight back. So let's just go ahead and do that. And unfortunately, it's looking like it's just not quite enough. 48 and 46. Alright. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. Here is our little distracted scout. Got a little pushback because of that warrior that Zona controlled us. But it looks like we'll get in the water next turn. So there's that. Come 1 forward, and now we are on the diagonal for this. We'll just keep our eyes peeled. And we can probably clear this cloud away, get north enough to cut through. Same thing here, we can just measure over here. This is the longitude. Am I using that term correctly? So I keep scrolling and going at an angle. So this is, what, 3 taller is what it looks like. 1, 2, no, 2 taller. Wow, it's hard to count, this 3D-ness. Yeah, so 2. Alright, so we'll come down here like this and we'll be able to measure it better next turn perhaps. Okay, so we could come over here and chop that one down, but the navy's out and stuff, and I don't really see a need to be running back and forth. Although there would be 3 hills over here to do, so maybe that's the way to go. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, start on 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, start on 6. That's the way to go. So we will head that way for that purpose. Next turn, he'll step and upgrade, at which point we'll have him upgrade the borders. We'll use these borders here to upgrade him to musketmen so we can have a little land support in Beijing, as discussed before. So when he comes out, we can have this guy come out to replace them. That seems good. We'll make all those moves on that particular turn. So we'll just come over here and get prepared to back up him. And now as we pass our turn, let's just keep an eye on what happens here. What? Okay, well I just learned something. As you may know, the AI is not equipped to step and shoot.
The press is the best instrument for enlightenment.
Also, with regards to their worker, they don't know how to step and begin developing. It's like they're in one mode or another. But we just saw a Chukanu shoot and then retreat. So apparently, I'm guessing that's because he has a double tapper. He understands that he can move after shooting, so might as well get that shot in. I did not know that. So now we have a damaged ship as we're going to start raining down on this. As far as promotions, I'm not very familiar with these guys. Perhaps I should have looked this up before, but I'm guessing land units is what we want. It's land or naval units. None of them say city per se. And since we're going to basically use this to take Beijing and to hold it for a little while afterwards, because I imagine all her units are going to start flooding in saying, hey, give us back. We need that buff against the land units because this is a naval battalion specifically for land warfare. So that's my thoughts on that. Ethiopia stole education. He's just getting his entire tree filled up by us. Okay, this actually is not that harmful. We lose the porcelain. But that's it. So we're -4 happiness. We're getting dies from 2 other city-states, so that's not a big deal. In fact, she never talked to us about that, so the fact that she's just taking it back and not making a big deal out of it, that seems pretty nice. Okay, so I'm pretty sure that we should Oh, there we go. I was a little too south. I'm like, why do I not have visibility? Pretty sure we should head towards gunpowder. Because we went for navigation first, we've been lagging down here, and we need to make sure our blockers are top shelf. In fact, after building the ships of the line, since we're going to have an abundance of iron, that would probably be a good time to get right with making more of those too. I kind of want to go along this diagonal. I wanted to keep it a little close to the chest here, just in case like a barbarian camp spawn. There'd be no point in having our scout land here to pick that up if it's not going to be there. And this guy's trying to stop me from my goal of hitting. Alright, this was confusing last turn, so let me just count it off here. 1, 2. We're at a level, so... Or no, we're one above, so that's at level. 1, 2, and we should be able to just go due east from there. As opposed to due host. Alright. Worker. Okay, it's time to start moving. Machinery is finished. I failed to act on that, so let's do that now. Because we're going to do this. And it looks like we're not going to have money for everything because we had to pay Hong Kong, and that's fine. So between these two composite bowmen, this one seems more important to me. He's just more for eyes and keeping the worker safe. This is the one that's in a network of hills grounded in the city, so let's do that. And what I'll do is I'll relax this guy and just say pass for this turn so that I don't forget to make that decision next turn. Okay, we'll get him in range. He's right behind. And so I see no reason not to just dump all 4 of these into here. The fact that one's damage is actually nice because that means the one that gets hit down here by the bombard will be predictable. And then he'll, after the city's captured, use that time to heal up. We'll probably have some units rain in, get them all nice and softened up, and then bring all 5 to the city. Or maybe 4 and swap them out as need be. Something to that effect. So let me go ahead and make sure that the one that is damaged ends up inside what will be Chengdu's borders. Oh wow, that's very good. Okay, we'll just do this. Do that. I should have like brought the first one over here slowly, make sure there's nothing here that would make us regret doing it that way, and apparently there is not. So look at this, very nice. And the one that does get bombarded can use its turn to hit that. Well, maybe not. We'll have to see how the units show up, because if we can use his whole turn just to heal, that will be beneficial. Do you have movement left? You do. Okay. I don't know why. I thought they moved a little bit slower. Nevertheless, here we are. Okay, so a swordsman steps out, and this guy's away from the border. So that's kind of our answer. We'll use 1 to hit the city. So how would we do that? We don't want to step there. He wants to just heal, and so as a result of this configuration, that's not an option. Okay, maybe a little more forethought. I could have predicted such a thing and brought him over there because the privateer can come around and hit. Yep. Okay, well, if that's the case, then let us... Well, actually, you know what? If it only takes 2 to kill him, then we don't have to move at all. 48, 68, and after we capture the city, one of these can come down and hit that. So yeah, he can heal up. So what we'll do is have this one hit the city. Privateer takes it. Create puppet for now. And luckily we do have the happiness to have absorbed that. It's only 1 pop, so that helps. Bring him down. Hit that. Hit that. Oh, and 2 was enough. Very good. So we'll just have this one hit the worker. We don't want to destroy the worker, but, you know, because we do have units coming over. And now this boat can, after taking his upgrade, heal. He's within borders. That'll be 86. We'll heal 1 more. That's pretty good. Oh, okay. I forgot they were still at war, but not anymore. Interesting. Alright, so we'll do that. We'll do that. So that means this is the guy that we can now upgrade. And because we had a privateer do the capturing, we got a little bit extra cash. Always nice. And now these guys are going to come over and try and help manage. I think we can take Beijing, no problem, but it's going to be holding it after the fact that might prove to be challenging. Alright, so I'm going to center this guy. The game doesn't like you scrolling between the prime meridian, I think is what it's called. So we can see here we're south of where we would like to land if we're have any chance of claiming that ruin for ourselves. We saw a Japanese boat over there, so he probably sees it, but his units are over here. Maybe that's to our advantage. So it would appear that we kind of want to head east with an upward cant. And let us save... Well, no, our boat's already passed. Okay, I was going to say, let's save that upward in case our boat finds that the ruin was taken, but we're outside that window now. He just passed that, so... Taken, or a barbarian camp or something like that. If something calls Egypt's attention over there, then we would lose out. Okay. Are we on the right level? Good. That's what I wanted to see. Okay. So, we got it. Very good. Okay. Nothing gained except for a couple tiles to heal our boats. And look at this. They are bringing... Nice. Okay. And I noticed that Riga is... Hey. Is frightened of us. Come on. What are we doing here? And I've had a few comments. I hear people saying it's pronounced Riga. That's fine. You know. Doesn't matter. I say it, you know, one way and you know what I'm talking about. Not going to try to relearn it just to be, you know, culturally educated or whatever. Alright, so if we were to ask for tribute, well, first of all, there might actually be a city-state asking us to do that, so that's worth looking at first. From okay, I had to learn how to read that for a second then. From that's the same one. And this one is from Hong Kong. And, of course, he's not going to ask us to do himself. Yerevan. Okay. Great engineer. Will we have that in time? Probably not. We're definitely not going to build the culture. So the losing of the quest will not be that harmful. It's just a matter of upsetting Portugal. And they're already showing being cool with us in other ways. So let's just go ahead and do this. We could use the money. Alright. So, what do we got here? We have a trebuchet that is on a hill, which according to this we should be able to just one shot. And then we already know that 2 shots are not quite enough for the Chu canoes. So bombard and oh, actually, you know what? We have units that are buffed now. Anti-personnel. Let's go ahead and just take this a moment to think of this. What happened here? Songhai lost its capital, and they've made peace. So Songhai has effectively been neutralized from the game, just like he did with Ethiopia. So we can more or less assume he's going to be coming for us next. Our military has been kept relatively current, so I'm not too worried about it. And of course we do have defensive ships of the line coming out 2, 3, and then 2 more on 5 turns from now. Portugal has denounced China. Very good. We'll do that. 6 and 5. Let's keep it a little on the down low for the moment. Here's a different story. Okay, 4. That slows it down there. Here's a different story just because this is going to be an observatory city, so if we have to do something with happiness to manage that. I mean, as soon as we take Notre Dame, our happiness is going to be great. Alright, so let's count this up. We think we can one-shot this. We have a boat that's damaged. He should be, but he's also buffed. And he's buffed. So I'm thinking the two that aren't buffed, it looks like we have 3 that are not buffed. The 2 of the ones that are not buffed should hit this guy. We bombard. Yeah, okay. So 2 that are not buffed hit that guy. Bombard finishes him off. Okay, this says it was going to be a one-shot, so let's try that. It is. Good. So we could use this turn to heal this guy, or I think it's probably a better idea to try and hit him. The fact that he's buff might mean we finish it off. And indeed we do. Very nice. 3 units completely eliminated. Technically for free. All we really lost is the ability to heal this one this turn. I'm okay with that, if that's the result. So I'm glad I took a second. Thank you for being patient with me. I've been in situations like that before. You know, make sure you bring your great general into position, all that stuff. Not as versed with combat as I would like. Knowing that he's a lot more likely to come after us soon, let's have this guy step on the hill. That way we can step onto one of these hills and shoot if need be, or we can just see from here. I don't think this worker's done over here, though. We might buy this tile. It's another river tile. We do want this city growing, and we're about to get Notre Dame, so I think that's a fine place to be growing. Okay, let's see. 1, 2, 3. Zoom. Alright. And we can mostly just zoom back, pick up all the visibility we need. Scout. Okay. Let's zoom up. Okay, so as soon as we actually connect, because I can click over here, I just can't drag. Oh, it'll let me drag in one direction but not the other. Okay, so this is the... it looks to be on the level below this fish, so that can act as a visual representation. We'll just go due northeast for now. Try to get those a little closer. The moment we break the clouds, we'll be able to drag in both directions. Okay, you guys want to bring some more units towards me, please? Thank you. This is fun. I had no idea, as choked as we were in the opening between our Islandception and Aztecs being a runaway civ, that this would be such a successful endeavor, but I'm loving it already. It feels like we've been let out of our cage and finally get to actually play the game. So I'm having a ball. Alright, our apologies, we'll leave them alone, or our affairs are none of your business. We have no way of knowing how much China's going to throw at trying to take Beijing back. So we don't know how much longer we're going to be in the area. I don't know that we can figure out exactly how long it's going to take these guys to get softened up to our presence again, or that it'll be considered strong enough. They're already allied with them, so it's not like we have a future with these guys in a meaningful way. Also, Portugal's already showing some territorialism. I think I revealed a little while ago ways that we could potentially use a navy to capture their capital, although the canal city they have would require some land forces over there. What is our current standing with them, not counting this? They are the score leader, but I'm not so sure that... Okay, so we freed... Yeah, that's right. We freed their missionary, and they didn't seem too grateful, even though it says that they are. So I don't see a need... Well... Alright, let's go ahead and make nice with these guys. I believe it said they've already denounced the Aztecs. Denounced China. Oh, okay. Well, maybe they'll denounce... Yeah, okay, so you agree. I was hoping they would do that. I think we've already told this guy off once in this regard, and there's nothing he can do about it anyways. Although he is giving us full value for our stuff. And if we're going to tell her we'll make nice, we might as well tell him too, because we're already kind of committed to not taxing Riga again in order to keep her happy. Physics. Okay, that means we should be able to capture Notre Dame, right? Isn't that what that means? Let me just take a quick glance. Okay. 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I'll go ahead and head east. We're mostly online. We can see it from there. Okay. So this boat can definitely heal up because none of our shooter boats can reach the swordsman. So we definitely got to bombard him because we're kind of on land here. I think I want to... Oh, we should have put him in the city first. If anything, I want this guy to come to the coast. We have land forces. Alright, so if I had put him in, the bombard would have been a little bit stronger. This is the kind of thing I'm talking about, not thinking through the timing and such. Use this turn to heal him up. And what are the ones that don't have the buff yet? These two? Okay. So does that mean the others get to starting the shooting on the city? I don't think so. And there's no real point to coming here just to put one shot into the swordsman. So, what to do? We can have these two shoot him. Maybe it takes 3, actually, now that I think about it. It would be nice if it took 3. And indeed it does. So that's good. Alright. Because we're just trying to get experience on these guys right now. I don't know if this actually counts as experience. Let's find out. 8 out of 10 experience. Hey, it did. Cool. I don't want to kill any of the workers, because if we can intercept one, that would be really nice. We don't have any worker representation over here. Songhai has denounced China. Songhai has denounced the Aztecs. I assume the Aztec denunciations are going to be forthcoming now, and that's another reason why I kind of wanted to make nice with her. Having allies as we try to take a stand against him seems like it's going to be a good idea. Let me check in with our spies here. We're actually 4 turns from gathering intelligence. Interesting. Let's take a look at his land. Okay. I'm just thinking if we... The spy will be ready in the exact same amount of times it will take us to research gunpowder. So the question is, do we research gunpowder and hope he's researched chemistry? Or do we start going like over here and then plan on stealing gunpowder? I think that's a fair question. Let's take a chance. Let's take a chance. The payoff, because we want gunpowder either way, and if our spy fails to steal, or for some reason he actually doesn't have gunpowder, we wasted our time. We want to keep our blockers relevant. I know we got to make more to truly call them blockers, but for now. And then of course the chance that we get chemistry for free. I mean, that's so delicious right now. It would help production in cities that will eventually lose it, because keep in mind, some of our production is tied to our Pantheon, which is not very stable. I'm just going to leave him here, since that's where we're chopping down. Come here. We can start chopping by the tile. Seems like a good idea. York. Okay. Until we have Notre Dame, let's not go nuts. I don't like grassland farms anyways. Let's stick to lumber mills there. Let's see here. Alright, so where, at what point... Okay, we'll know when it's time to start heading southeast. Basically, past that little boomerang. Similarly here, there is a landmass here. We might as well try and pick up visibility on the south and east side as we retreat. Or perhaps maybe this is one big landmass and we can approach it. But that's going to be after these mountains. So let's at least get past those mountains. And now... what? Let's keep on going. We'll go on this side of this island. That was the main question in my mind. Okay, the privateer. Let's get him out there. Let's get him hidden. Because we don't know that he's seen that yet. I don't know if he can know, she can know how that was captured. And in the event that she actually spits out a boat we can steal, all the better. Alright. Okay, more fodder. That one actually backed up, which is unfortunate because the longbowmen can't actually chase him. We want to keep our land units as pristine as possible because they're mostly for backup at this point. Alright, there's that. He actually left the worker there. Alright. Machinery stolen, unidentified. So let's see here. Our longbowmen can't actually reach anybody. So let's just get in there. Alright. How much damage would you do? Okay. I kind of want to dump all my boats into... all my ship of the lines into Beijing. Because let's just take a look at what we're expected to do. About 32 out of what? Does he got walls? Can we assume this thing's health is 250? So we can do about 30. That's about 150, and I'm undershooting it here. It heals up. We hit another 4. That's 120. Alright, so we're not going to be able to do it in 2 turns, probably. At the same time, we should just, like, go for it. What we could do is, like, have 4 and have the privateer actually here. Maybe he's the one that gets hit. What is a privateer's? 25? Okay. What's a trebuchet? 14. Okay, so I'm not worried about that. That's a good idea. We could put 1 into him, and then the longswordsman could easily finish him off. Again, I want to try and keep him pristine, but anything to make this happen sooner. Because once Beijing is truly threatened, I imagine that's when we'll see the units. Unless he just doesn't have enough units to send, in which case we're golden. So anyways, let's just start putting shots in to see what we're actually talking about. Was that 37, did I see? 27. Okay, so we undersold it. That's not good. 38. Okay. High roll, low roll. Makes sense. All right. Well, that city's actually falling at a good rate. So, do we put all in or not? I honestly can't decide. Alright, so there's the result of 4. We've more than cut it in half. Put a 5th one in now. We should be able to capture the city next turn. But if we leave his melee unit strong, the threat of recapture is very prominent. So that means we cannot just trust in a swooping. I will put the privateer there. This prevents any boats from actually escaping. Gives him a melee target. Because once Beijing is captured, this privateer has nothing better to do than to heal up. So I'm willing to let him, as long as he doesn't get killed, I'm willing to let him do that. So we'll just move him up here, do that. Oh, piece of cake. What are we looking at here? Possible 19 in return. That seems, yeah. So what's his best bet? He backs up to here. We bring this guy in on the hill, have visibility, step in and shoot. So, yeah, let's just let it ride. Okay, let it ride. Okay, so this is a defensive unit. It's meant for defense, but what we can do is send it over there. That way, as we have to swap ship of the lines out because they're getting damaged or whatever, the hobbled ones can come over here and heal. Because until we have some sort of sign that the attack is on, we don't actually need the boats here. And in fact, them not being here might bring the attack on. Or he does have this guy here. Maybe we start bringing them in now just to show him, hey, don't think about it. I don't know. Well, the Beijing thing is probably going to be relatively swift, so let's just do it. Make sure it's done right. We can hold it, you know, all that good stuff. Now, we do have a lot of iron. Let's just take a look at something here. Seaport. 7 turns, cost 1,000 gold. Seaport would be really nice. It'd give us 5 hammers, 5 gold. Workshop would give us almost 5 hammers. Because I want to start pumping out some land units to make sure this is a no-go, or to send over here and be able to hold. We're just going to need more land units. Like even the thing I was talking about over here for taking Lisbon. That's way in the future, but we will need land units over there. And right now we are starved for blockers, especially if we're going for gunpowder. Alright. The irony here is that once we do hit gunpowder, the need for iron just plain goes away. There we go, breaking through. Now we can just drag, and that puts us on level. Get there in 2 turns. Okay. Alright. Oh, crap, what did I just do? I hit the wrong button. I was meant to tell him to chop it down. And that sucks, too, because if I had managed to do that command right, this probably would have been in time. Shave to turn off, been right on turn. Yep. I screwed it up good. For some reason, I was thinking we were highlighting the pikeman, and I told it to alert, but instead it said automated. It started going into a lumber mill, and that's not what we want there. Okay, so we might be able to cut through, and if not, we can come around here. I think we have time to find out. Anyways, we are past the half-hour mark. We're having good successes over here, so I'm really excited about all of this. Let me know what you guys think. I want you guys to enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you in the next part. Take care.